it's such a big moment that I really think that even if it was a foul, don't call the foul. I mean, it's the game to get to the national champ. Like, are you serious? You're gonna call that?
Yeah, I don't know what they don't want the wool or they don't want the refs to ruin the games by blowing whistles, but that one should have just been left alone. I mean, come on.
Yeah, yeah. Like yeah, I don't know. There's obviously a difference between regular season whistle and playoff whistle. I think they definitely should have just let that one go. That seemed more like a regular season kind of, middle of the season, ain't shit going on. Just call it at the end, make it exciting. But
Yeah, and
in
then ended
that
up
kind of
losing the
moment,
game too because of that.
in in that moment, and with that particular player, I mean, I think you let it slide a little bit.
There was
I don't
no
know.
contact even. There was no contact on the guy's back. It's just he reached up
Yeah,
with his hand, tipped it to him. I mean, the guy did
yeah.
have position, but it's like there wasn't any contact.
No, I think it was ridiculous. I think it was a ridiculous foul for sure.
So I think now
But
that I think if Cooper goes back to college, I think he's gonna hope for the Bulls to lose out this next year
Mhm.
to be on
Yeah,
Chicago.
I think so. I think it'd be a good fit, or at least it'd be a good market. Really good market.
Yeah, can you imagine like them comparing him to MJ and all that stuff in Chicago?
Oh, Jesus. And start all over again. Braun would be stoked. He doesn't have to hear that bullshit anymore. But
Oh
yeah,
man,
we'll see.
there's are they still doing comparisons?
Oh, there's always gonna be comparisons. Drives me nuts.
Yeah, it's just nauseating. Just stop talking about it. Come on, we've been doing this for years now. Can we do something else?
Yeah. I don't know. I've always looked at it kind of like a couple of analysts that have looked at it where they kind of concede, like they're huge LeBron James fans. They're like, we'll concede that Michael Jordan's the greatest if you will concede that LeBron James is the best.
Yeah. Yep.
Like legacy and stats and all that, and the whole package. Shit, I'm a LeBron fan. I think he's the greatest of all time, but in that regard, yeah, I'll give that to MJ for what he meant, what he still means, and all that.
Yeah.
Overall mentality, but kind of hard to argue with LeBron's stats, so I think he's the best player of all time.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely a difference. It's not splitting
Yeah.
hairs.
Yeah. What do you think about Mike Malone getting fired from Denver?
I think it's
Another
hilarious,
another
actually.
big coaching firing in the NBA.
I think it's hilarious because, yeah, I don't know. I was listening to an interview with the owner the other day, and he was like, "Yeah, well, no, we saw some things brewing, and we wanted to pull the trigger as fast as we can, and get out ahead of this thing." I'm like, "Yeah, I get that, but your team is a title contender right now. I mean,
Yeah.
we can't just wait a couple more months. Like, is it really that bad? You have to do that now?"
Yeah. The timing was terrible. I mean,
It, it
it
was
must have
ins
been really miserable.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You didn't hear anything from the team really. Jokic hasn't really. He said that like the chemistry and certain things have been off, but as far as like the coach, he wouldn't say something like that. But it just didn't seem like there was really I don't know, an issue there. Like I know that the GM and the coach, butt heads all the time. It's pretty standard operating procedure, but
Yeah.
to fire the coach a couple of days before the playoffs start is an interesting strategy to say the least.
Yeah. It's kind of like Memphis did it a couple weeks ago to their coach, and it's like at the time they're a 4 seed and they're rolling pretty good, but they've kind of tailed off here last part of the season. But it's like that's another weird firing. I heard that was a long time coming. I heard from the Memphis people that he had gotten in it
Yeah.
running last year in the summer with the organization, and but why do it with a month left of the season? I mean,
I mean, you have to be pretty confident in the guy stepping into that position in order to do that at this time.
yeah, yep,
or you feel like you're good enough to where you don't really need a coach and the players will just play. And
Yeah,
whatever
you
happens,
better
happens.
you better hope you better hope those players buy into whoever you're putting in the system because it's playoff
Yeah.
time here. They ain't got time to. The practices are going to be very limited coming down here. You're not going to have a
Yeah.
lot of practice. You better hope that coach has got a good system where the players will buy into it.
Yeah, exactly. It makes no sense, especially in the Denver case. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, he won your guys' first title in forever
And
in
you have one of the
franchise
best
history,
players in the world on your team.
if
So
if
anything
not
can
the
happen.
best.
Yeah, anything can
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. Just hold out for a little bit longer, but I don't know.
You think they
I think
hold
it'd be
on to
cool
Jamal Murray as well? Do you think they'll hold on to him,
I think
considering
so.
his injury history? Yeah.
Yeah. I think in the offseason the Suns will swap coaches. I think they'll kick Bud's ass right out the door and then they'll hire Malone and Suns will be back next year.
Well, whatever happens with the coaching here at the end of the season, or whenever it happens, Mike Malone's going to be a big, big commodity.
Yep.
There are going to
I think the
be
Suns are gonna get
several
him.
teams after him. Have they been rumored to go after him, or you just think that? Or
Nope. I'm trying I'm trying to speak it into existence
oh,
because we
okay,
need something
okay.
to happen. We need something good to happen.
Well, I hope for you that it happens. I hope you get Bud out of there because he's
We
obviously
need
not the
something.
answer.
We need something. We need something back for Durant. We need to get Beal out of there. We need something.
You guys need a point guard again, don't you?
Yep. Yep, we're gonna need that.
I mean, the Wolves have still needed a point guard for years, but we just kind of plugged in Conley. He's not like the young stud guard, but he works for what we do. But we've been needing a
Yeah.
point guard for years. That's kind of been
Yeah, and you guys are gonna need to pick somebody up.
that's been the weak link with the Wolves here. Rubio, when they had Rubio, he wasn't the best scoring point guard, but he played defense
Yeah.
and could pass. But I don't think we've had a that good of a point guard since Marbury was here. Marbury was here for like a year. That's how
Yep.
long it's been.
Yep.
It's been a definite weak spot for the Wolves is point guard throughout their career.
Yep. They can get one though. You guys
I
will
mean,
have.
you guys had Steve Nash. That's not fair.
We
Come
did.
on,
We had an amazing point guard.
that's just not even
One
fair.
one of the best of all time.
Does he go to games at all up there, or what does he do? Does he
I
frequent the Sun still?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure he does. I think he still hangs around every once in a while.
Okay,
Pops his head in the door occasionally. But
I see. John Stockton's kids playing. I think Gonzaga, or maybe he graduated last year. Kind of cool to
really,
see John Stockton around again.
yeah. Again, one of the goats.
Yeah, that pick and roll with Malone, that thing was unstoppable. You knew it was
Yep.
going to happen every play, and you couldn't stop it.
Yep. Apparently he was a huge shit talker too. Love to hear it.
So Stockton was
Oh yeah.
nice. Well,
Yep.
it's just like the Kareem skyhook. You knew every shot he was going to do skyhook, but nobody could
Yep.
stop it.
Yep. I'm pretty sure he was doing the whole telling dudes what he was about to do before he do it too, and he was
And
just that good.
they try to do something about it, and they couldn't. He'd
They couldn't.
score at will.
Yep.
That's why I think you talk about like goats and all that stuff. I don't think
Hmm.
Kareem's like the best ever, but he definitely changed the game, the way the game's played, and like
For
he
sure.
had a shot that nobody could stop, unstoppable.
Yep.
You just don't see that anymore for any era since that.
Yeah, and I wonder why none of the bigs really do it now.
I mean, yeah, I played a lot of basketball. I think the skyhook's a tough shot. I don't know how the hell he made it so much because you got
It
to go
definitely
way
is.
back over your head and like
Yep.
the accuracy is. I don't know how the hell he mastered that down so well.
Yeah. But like you don't really see any of the guys doing it. And it just makes me wonder why not.
No, I mean you see him do hook shots, but no sky hooks, right?
Oh,
You don't see any of that post up stuff anymore in the NBA.
No, it's all kicking inside, and if that dude can't immediately score, he kicks it to the outside, or
Yep.
waits for a pick, or help defense to come, and then moves the ball out again, reset,
Yep.
just constant slinging it.
Yep. Anything else in the NBA? Any others?
Um,
See
mm,
who the Bucks in line? Oh, who are the Bucks in line to play right now?
I just
Indiana.
saw that.
Okay.
I think they're gonna crush Indiana.
God, you said if Durant goes to Milwaukee, just think if they have Giannis, Lillard, and Durant for like
Yep,
a couple years to finish
yep,
off Durant's career and probably Lillard's career.
yep.
God, that would be so sick.
Like, I think that could happen.
Yeah, so Orlando's in the 7th seed. Yuck, man. Ugh, that team is bad. Orlando,
Yeah, they're not great. They're not great.
19 and so the 7 through 10 teams in the East are all under 500 on the road, except for the Bulls. They're at 20 and 20. Isn't that crazy how different
Yeah,
the East is from the West?
yeah, yeah. The East, you have, you just have your good teams and everybody else, whereas the West, it's like anybody could go on a run at any given time. Like the
Yeah,
Clippers, for example, secretly they're on what, a 12-game winning streak, 11-game winning streak,
I think they've won like what was it, like 20 out of 23 or something.
something like that. Kawhi's averaging like 28 over that span, 27.
Yeah, I want. When's he gonna get hurt? Come on, I'm waiting for that.
I was just
When's he
about to
getting
say,
hurt?
I'm surprised he hasn't gotten hurt yet. I'm surprised he was able to play that many games.
They're 16 and 3 in their last 19.
Jesus.
They went on a 3-game losing streak, and then since then they've won 16 out of 19.
Yeah, so they're not doing bad.
They were one of the teams that because got rid of Paul George, and Kawhi
Hmm.
was you don't know ever if Kawhi's gonna play, right? You never know what he's gonna do. They
No,
were on my list of teams that I don't even think was gonna make the playoffs, so they've been very surprising to me.
I didn't think so either. I honestly thought Harden was just kind of like when Kawhi was hurt at the beginning of the year. I thought Harden was just like, all right, cool, I'm gonna collect my money. We'll just wait till next year to give a shit again. And
Yeah,
somehow they've been absolutely dominating for the last few weeks. So
he's carried them somehow until Kawhi got back.
yeah, and then Kawhi's like, all right, cool, I'm gonna try now, guys. It's like, well, shit, you didn't tell me that was gonna happen. I thought it was gonna be the same old Clippers.
Yeah, and then you got Norman Powell's averaging 22 points per game for the Clippers. Norman Powell,
Doesn't surprise me.
that
He's
guy.
solid.
Yeah, then you got Zubac
Yep.
averaging a double double. He's having a good year, 17 and 13.
Yep.
They got Bogdanovich. That was a good pickup for them.
He's Yeah, he's solid.
Yeah, and then obviously Harden and Kawhi. Harden's it's up to 35 minutes a game again. Didn't think he would
Damn.
average that high, since he kind of looked like he was dead in the water last year, didn't he? He looked like he was old and
Yeah.
slow and kind of like
He
Chris
was more of
Paul.
a he was more of a passing the ball dude instead of a scorer.
Yeah, his shot was pretty broke for a while there, and looks like he
Yep.
had found it now.
Yeah, he's not doing too bad.
And
So
he's
we'll see.
35. He's gonna be 36 in August. That's crazy.
Yeah. There's gonna be so many dudes, so many great players that are gonna be retiring within the next like 4 to 5 years.
Paul Curry, uh,
Paul, Curry,
Harden.
George, Durant, LeBron, Harden, Clay.
It's definitely gonna be a new era, isn't it? Coming.
Yeah. Ellie Davis is gonna be out of there.
Yep, Anthony
Westbrook.
Davis. Yep.
Anybody with the last name Lopez, all those dudes are gonna be out. Both of
Yeah,
them.
when's Brook gonna give it up? Like,
I have no
he's
idea.
having a
He's
good
still
year,
good.
you know.
He's still good.
It's like what he doesn't age.
Al Horford, he's gonna be leaving soon. Possibly.
Yeah, he almost hung it up last year, didn't he?
Yeah, he's in his like 20th season.
Al Horford. Can that guy still move?
Yeah, he can. He's got to ice them knees a lot, but he's good. He's still solid.
Remember him with the Hawks. Everyone remembers him with the Hawks.
Imagine possibly maybe even Brandon Ingram. He might be out soon too.
He hasn't came back yet, has he?
I don't think so. I haven't heard anything about him. He was looking so good for a while there too.
Yeah. Oh, him and Zion in New Orleans. And then they got, they
Yeah.
got McCollum, CJ McCollum to go there. Everyone's like,
Yep.
oh, New Orleans might be the team. And then they all get hurt all at once.
Yep. Yeah, and Zion's been probably most the biggest letdown in terms of hype from any player.
That's another question. What do you think they're going to do with Zion? I mean, he's already shown that he has no will to get in shape. And they hired him a chef.
Yeah.
A chef to eat well. And like every offseason he comes back overweight, he gets injured. New
Yep.
Orleans has got to think about getting rid of him.
Yeah, and he's still with his injury history and all of his, weight problems. He was still like the fastest player to ever get to 3,000 points or something like that.
Yeah, when he scores, he puts up 40, but then then
Yeah.
he sits for 15 games and he plays one game.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, I
it's.
think he's more about the showboating rather than the actual dedication.
I honestly think his body's too big for his feet, for his legs, for his lower body. Too much weight.
Maybe. Maybe.
He blew out his shoe at Duke. Remember that?
I do remember that.
Driving to the hoop, he blew out his
Yep.
shoe. It's like
Yep.
holy crap. And he's hanging
So,
around crazy women. Did you hear that story? That ain't gonna
no?
help him. he
Oh God. Doesn't surprise me.
some woman he was had affairs with or whatever broke into his house and beat the hell out of his girlfriend. Pulled her hair, threw her down after breaking into his house.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So it's like he's
Ooh.
probably not surrounding himself with good people out there, you know?
No.
Yeah.
Somebody that I kind of do want to touch on for a second, only because she drives me absolutely insane, is Angel Reese.
Yeah.
Drives me crazy.
She's back working out again. You see that? It seems like
Oh my
her
God.
focus now is unrivaled, doesn't it? It's like she doesn't ever talk
Yeah.
about WNBA anymore.
If he does, she doesn't talk about it in a great way.
Like her main job is WNBA, correct? Am I correct
Yeah.
about that?
Last time I checked.
But this whole feud with like their new CBA, I think, is what's telling her, "Oh, I'm all unrivaled or whatever." But
Yep.
she doesn't say anything about the WNBA. It's all like, "Oh, I'm practicing right now for the unrivaled league." So are you not
Yeah.
playing, or what's going on?
Yeah. And then she's constantly complaining about, well, her NBA salary doesn't cover her. I think it was a quote from one of your articles, but she was saying, my WNBA salary barely even covers my rent. I'm making like $79,000 a year and I'm living way above my means, so that doesn't cover it.
Yeah.
So
Do you
it's
see
like,
the stuff
well,
she
then
wears? Look how expensive
it's
the
like
stuff she wears.
don't live above your means then. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, don't buy all like top of the line clothes. Stuff she wears is like
Yeah.
thousands of dollars.
Yeah. I don't
Like,
know. She drives me crazy just because it doesn't seem like she has the game to back up how much like she causes, you know?
yeah, like people like Caitlin Clark or like Diana Taurasi or something in her prime. If it was them
Yep.
saying it, you'd have a case, right? They're
Yep.
some of the best players of their time. But
Yep.
Angel Reese she's good in college. She was a had a feud with Caitlin Clark, so I think that's why they've heightened kind of her popularity. The feud with
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark. Well, it's like you're not even like the top 10 player in the WNBA,
No.
but yeah, you're the one that's trying to focus on all this high pay and nothing's paying your rent. But yeah, you're out wearing $1,000 worth of clothes and you're at all these events and everything and getting chauffeured around.
Yeah.
It's like I think you're doing well
Exactly.
enough, right?
Yeah. It's. I don't know from outside perception. If I didn't know who she was, I'd be like, oh, she's an Instagram chick that plays basketball in her spare
Yeah.
time.
Yep. Yep.
She's everything I hear about her is I'm not making enough money. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. It's like, well, you're also not the best player in the league.
Yeah.
You're one of the most notable ones, but you're not one of the best all-around players in the league.
I do agree they should get a pay raise of some sort. Because
Yes.
their amenities and stuff are very low. At least this is what they were talking. I don't know, obviously.
Yeah.
I've never experienced, but they do need a raise. They do need better, like, facilities.
Hmm.
They need it better, but the way they're talking is like you had 2 years of NBA or WNBA viewership going up. You know, revenue still kind of stayed the same though, is what the numbers said. Their numbers
Yeah.
were way up, but I don't think they sustained it enough to get more money. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think they should have waited a couple more years. Then I think they're gonna get a
Yeah.
big hike in salary.
Yeah. I
You got to have
I
money
think a lot of
to
that.
spend it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think some of that has to do with just the rising. I mean, they're always getting bigger and bigger every year, but like the rising NBA contracts. And since the NBA, from what I understand, has to basically foot the bill for the WNBA players,
Yeah. Yep.
they're kind of looking at it going, okay, well, they're getting this much, we can't even get this much. It's like, well, you guys have a couple of players that draw crowds. NBA has 10 to 20.
Yeah.
It's just it's different. But with, Caitlin Clark, Paige Buchers especially, so many different exciting players coming into the NBA the WNBA, that's gonna have to change in the next couple years.
Yeah, I think
I mean,
they're one CBA off from making their case. I think next CBA in what is it 4 or 5 years?
I'm not sure.
Whenever they do their next CBA, I think that's when the WNBA will be at its highest,
Yeah.
and I think that's when they'll have to do something like with
Yep.
way higher salaries and give them first class everything. I
Yep.
just think right now it's not peaked where they want it to be.
No, and I think with like the NIL system coming into play too, they're cr- they're creating such larger than life players before they get to the NBA that there's going to be even more and more and more attention drawn to the WNBA
Yeah.
from the college level.
Yep.
So they're going to have to change some rules because they're going to start bringing in a ton more money and
Yep.
can't really ignore that for too much longer.
And the ratings show that they have, but I think it's only been a couple years. Wait till they sustain
Yeah.
it a little bit and then see what happens. Because yeah, like you said, there's
Yeah.
going to be with NIL, there are going to be popular storylines, more players coming out. You know, Caitlin Clark like players,
Yep.
and it's a step in the right direction though. They definitely have gone in the
Yep.
right direction. Because you even got
Absolutely.
Juju Watkins for USC. She's another one. Even
Yep.
tore ACL, which kills her going to the next level, but it happens. But yeah, she's another one that's popular, and she's gonna be the NBA WNBA. I don't know. I don't know if she's gonna. She might be a senior. I'm not sure, but she tore her ACL, so I don't know what her decision's gonna be now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
step in the right direction for them. They're definitely getting more popularity.
yeah, definitely.
But in terms of the The Angel Reese thing, yeah. I just think a lot of it's just publicity. Wanting the attention.
Yeah, yeah, she drives me crazy.
You want me to send you a couple Angel Reese stories?
Oh God, please. Only if they're bad ones.
Let's see. There's a little bit of NFL news. Uh, Joe Flacco got another job.
Did he?
He's rejoining the Browns on a 1 year deal. Joe Flacco.
Yes, Joey Flacco.
That actually kind of kills the Vikings because they were looking for a veteran quarterback. With this whole Aaron Rodgers talk and all that BS.
Yep.
They actually were looking at Flacco to bring him in and a veteran QB, but he signed with the Browns, so got a 4 year deal. He's gonna play, right? He always
He's
plays.
gotta play. He's gotta play. He's awesome.
Yeah, I can't.
Gotta.
18th season for the Browns.
Yep. You gotta love the old guy just hanging in there, man.
He spoke with the Vikings and Steelers. God, the Steelers are going after every QB, aren't they?
They're desperate.
God, Mason Rudolph. Remember when they had him? They thought he was
Yep.
going to be some great dude,
Yeah.
Your boy Patrick Peterson is going to retire on Monday.
Oh no.
He's going to retire a Cardinal.
Ah. Well, I don't know.
So he went to
Bummer.
the Vikings for a couple years.
Yep. He was fun to watch while we had him though. He was a menace. An absolute menace.
You think he was better than Darrell Revis? What do you think?
No, no. Revis was smarter. I think Patrick Peterson was more athletic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about
Like if he,
Deion Sanders?
no, there's no way.
You think Deion was the best cornerback ever?
Yeah.
Won him, yeah.
Yeah. He's he's the only player I've ever seen to intercept a ball, turn around, run like 5 yards the other way just to push the receiver down and then turn the ball back upfield. It was
Oh
the
my
most
God.
disrespectful shit I've ever seen.
That's Deion.
I don't
for you,
remember who
right?
he, I don't remember who he was going against, but it was like, dude, just to have that kind of attitude. Like you're going against professional athletes and you're like, "Now I'll deal with the other, 10 dudes, 15 dudes over there in a minute. I'm
Yeah.
throwing your ass on the ground first, and then because I know I'm good enough I'm not even worried about getting to the first down." It's like, good God, man, that is that is some disrespectful shit, but it was hilarious.
Deion,
You gotta love it.
Deion.
You gotta love it. They don't make them like that anymore.
So Travis Hunter says he told the commissioner that he hopes when you announce me that you announce me as both a D-back and a wide receiver. You see that?
Yep. I think he wants to play both. I think
I
he
don't
should
know.
play both.
He's gonna. That's so. Your injuries are so heightened doing that. Why? Why would he want to though?
He's got to have at least like a couple of packages going to opposite sides, though. I mean, whether they draft him as a DB and throw some packages in for him to be on the offensive side, vice versa, they gotta let him do it, man.
So if you're a GM, let's say you draft Travis Hunter, right?
Uh,
What would your decision be? You wouldn't want to play
let him
him
do.
both way, would you, or would you let him?
Oh, I definitely let him.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a huge risk, but it would make that specific generational talent very, very happy. Give him a lot of confidence. To where even if he was playing average on both sides of the ball, his average is still probably, you know, pretty damn good in the NFL standards, regardless. So
Yeah.
the only bad thing is if he gets hurt, you technically lose two players, so you have to keep that in mind. But I don't know. I think with that production that he could bring to the team, I think you let him do it.
I think that'd be pretty cool if he does play both ways.
Yeah,
Something nobody's ever seen before.
not
Definitely
really. I mean,
popularity in the NFL would. I mean, it's already pretty high, but it would soar.
I think Dion was the last guy to do it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and
because
that's
he
been a
played
while,
receiver.
hasn't it?
Yeah, so I think he could.
And I just wonder how effective he could be playing both. You know, how tired the guy's gonna get.
Yeah, I mean, if
Maybe you don't put him out there full time both ways. Maybe you like
yeah,
say, "Oh, we're gonna have you wide receiver, but we're gonna mix you in at cornerback." You know,
yeah, exactly. Or I mean, what I was thinking too is even if they put him in for a couple of packages, like obviously you would hope anyway that whatever quarterback he has is going to be better than Shador. So
yeah,
I would hope that he's not going to be catching, short slants or anything like that and just getting rocked in the middle of the field. I hope that he'd be outrunning dudes, running flies, stuff like that, at least going deep, not taking as many hits.
yeah. I heard
So
Shador might be sliding down the draft board a little bit. Might be
he was
falling a little bit.
21st, I think, last time I checked.
That's a little lower, isn't it? Wasn't he projected like top 10 pick at first?
They kept talking like he was going third or second.
What's happened to him? Why has he dropped so far? I wonder what's happened. Because he hasn't
I
worked
don't
out
know.
for anybody, right? He said he wouldn't work out for anyone.
I think I think that was the No, he was throwing a little bit the other day
Oh, did he?
because Travis Hunter was
Okay.
catching for him. But I think Shadur's probably going to go to the Saints.
New Orleans, huh?
I think so. Because isn't Derek Carr out for the season now?
Well, it's funny you say it because there's just a post here about Derek Carr's status at risk with that shoulder injury.
Yep.
So he doesn't even know if he's going to be able to play.
Yeah, so I think they'd have to get Shador.
Yeah. They got a new coach, too, Kellen Moore.
Yep.
I would just like that you come in and have your starting quarterback out for the year. That'd be
Yeah.
just what you wanted.
Yeah, that would be a nightmare. But I think they could get him, and I think that would be they got a decent squad.
Yeah, and I know they don't want Spencer Rattler as their starter because we saw how that went last year. He was not very good.
No. So they got to do something.
His shoulder injury goes all the way back to 2023 when he sprained his AC joint, and last year he broke several bones in his non-throwing hand.
Damn.
Year before that, he lost 7 games to an oblique and hand injury. So the last 3 years, he's been
He's been
hurt a
getting his
lot.
ass rocked. Yeah. Jeez. Yeah, I think Shador could go to the Saints, to be honest with you.
I
Saints or the
mean,
Steelers.
I don't know about the Saints. Well, I don't know if he'd want to go to the Saints. I know he doesn't really have a choice, but
Yeah.
I mean, they're bad, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
5-12
Be
last year. Their top receivers,
better than
Brandon
going to like
Cooks. I mean, come on.
be, be better than going to like Oakland or
The Giants at least you get to throw to neighbors or whatever.
yeah. Oh, the Giants don't have anybody, or did they? Didn't they sign Russ?
Uh
I thought they got Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston.
did they get Jameis Winston?
I
Yeah, they
think
did.
so. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
Yep.
Winston's the backup. He don't care, right?
So
Jameis Winston don't
no,
care.
no. So I think the Giants are out of the Shinder sweepstakes.
I saw Jameis dancing on the street somewhere in New Orleans. I think it was New
Yeah,
Orleans or New
of
York or
course,
something.
of
The guy just
course.
has no worries in his life. Oh, I'll be a
No.
backup. I'll play for 7 million. You know.
Yep. No, he's good.
So who do you
But
think is
yeah,
going
we'll
to be the
see.
worst team in the NFL? You think it's going to be the Giants again?
Oh, it's still gonna be Carolina.
Carolina. What about the Jets? They're going to be better.
They're gonna be better. But yeah,
Carolina,
Carolina's
man.
garbage.
Weren't they? They still have Bryce Petty or whatever his name is.
I was just trying to think of his last name. Yeah.
Bryce something, right?
Yep.
It's just
Yeah.
terrible
God,
last year. Oh, Bryce Young.
Yeah, Bryce Young. I think is
Andy
one of, if
Dalton.
not the, yeah. Oh God, they are doomed. They are doomed.
Thielen's still their number one receiver, but I think he's a free agent. Yeah, this team is bad. Looking at this team,
They're they are doomed, 100%.
Leggett, David Moore, T.J. Luther. Those are their wide receivers.
I mean, like that's not bad, but Bryce isn't it.
No, and they have Andy Dalton as a backup. I don't. They don't want to go forward with him for the future.
No.
And we all know you need a really good QB to do anything in the NFL.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Bryce is not it. Like historically bad, not even just bad within like today's NFL, like historically bad.
Yeah, that's
Awful.
Tyreek Hill back in the news again for the Dolphins.
Yep. Yep.
Another domestic issue, but nothing got charged on him, so I guess we really can't say anything. But he keeps ending up in trouble every year.
Yeah.
I think he talked about retiring, didn't he?
Yeah, he wanted to be a porn star at one point.
Oh my god. He's just another guy. He's a guy that bothers me as well.
Yeah.
He doesn't take accountability for anything that he does.
Stuff keeps happening, yeah.
I don't know.
He's so freakishly talented, yet shit like that keeps happening to him.
Yeah, and being down in Miami, I don't know if that helps him being down in Miami.
Probably not. No.
No, he's free to do whatever he wants, whenever
I've
he
heard the women's
wants.
situation down there is not horrible, so yeah, it does not help his case
Yeah,
at all.
yeah. I think you should just retire and just slow down a little bit, go do your thing, and
Yeah,
collect your money and be done.
exactly. Just be the porn star you always wanted to be.
I never heard that. That's funny.
Oh yeah, he was saying that earlier
Oh
this
my
year.
god.
Yep.
Well, anything else you want to talk about? Any other topics you saw?
I I think that's it, man. I think we covered pretty much everything.
Put our links out there in the chat. Hardwood Heroics. That's who we write for. College basketball, NBA. We also have Wisconsin Sports Heroics, which anything Wisconsin you want to know about for teams, Bucks, Badgers, Brewers, Marquette, Golden Eagles, all that stuff. Our links are right there, as well as our podcast. It's on YouTube. If you ever want to go see that, you can rewatch that as well. Probably do this again next week, right? What do you think?
Yeah, of course.
It was a fun time doing this with you again, and look to do it again next week sometime.
Absolutely. All for it.
All right, everybody, take care and have a great night. Thank you.